Hey guys!
Hi guys!
So we have some really cool Hot Topic exclusive pops to review today. I was really excited when they came out. I know one of these was a very valuable pop at one time just because it was so hard to get, and it was an early pop, and then now it's back in different form, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But first up, it's almost Halloween, and what that means is we're going to start getting some Nightmare Before Christmas pops. They do it every year, October. You get a few different Nightmare Before Christmas pops, and this time, the only one we were really kind of into, they had Nightshade Sally. It's really cool. It's got a cat on it. She's holding the jar, but I just don't really... We have a lot of Sallys. Yeah. It wasn't enough for us, but this one definitely was enough for us to grab them.
It is the Pumpkin King Jack Skellington, and this pop is so cool. It glows in the dark. He looks like a giant scarecrow. I'm completely amazed with this pop.
That's cool.
My gosh, she's so pretty.
So the first pumpkin pop, which is it's weird too because you know the look of a pop head is kind of an obvious pumpkin, right? So this is so cool. Of course, he's a scarecrow and he's got these big long fingers, and you know it's not necessarily like a decal or anything on his face. It's literally cut out.
It's
his
like
mouth
carved
and eyes.
into a pumpkin.
Yeah, it literally is.
It's so cute.
This is so cool. I mean, I really like this pop. Now, here's what's cool about this pop. Yes, it's glow in the dark, but it's not only just glow in the dark. It's orange glow in the dark, not just some yellow, default color of glow in the dark. So I think this is an absolutely fantastic pop. And here's the thing that I really like about this one, as far as the detail goes. It really looks like the cloth is being blown in the wind.
Yeah,
it's not just laying down. There's movement to this pop, and I think that's actually fantastic. If you guys don't know who Gur is, he's from Invader Zim.
He's got chicken legs! Yes. It also possesses a new generation distortion cloaking system. You know what that means?
So here he is. This is giving off a very weird color.
It is. It looks kind of like Gumby.
Yeah, oh, Gumby. It really does kind of look like a Gumby. It's like, you know, here's the thing. They're starting to do this, and I don't know if this is going to be kind of a common thing now. They're not spraying it with glow-in-the-dark spray anymore. This thing looks like it's molded glow-in-the-dark, which is giving it a very weird... It almost looks like an opaque glass. I don't know how to explain it.
Like a church window.
Yeah, and there's like bubbles in it. Like
I think it looks pretty cool.
It's very neat. I really like it.
I like it because you get to see the imperfections in the mold as it hardened, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, you can see. Oh, I really like this, the way they've done this.
He looks sort of like a voodoo doll. I like that.
Well, he's a very wild dog. He's like made of spare parts, and he's like he never shuts up.
So
yeah,
he is
you
a
can
voodoo
imagine.
dog.
Kind of, I guess. And what's cool about this is they have a like very angled like tail and head. They did a really good job on the sculpt on this.
I think so too. I love how bulky his head is compared to his body. He's just a really cute pop.
And his eyes are way bigger than a regular Popeye. Like, these are, like,
I like
big.
that.
That's cool. I like this. So guys, this Gur brings up a good point. I think a good talking point that you guys should put in the comments at what you think.
Yeah.
This is kind of the first that I could think of besides Star Wars pop that was retired and is now back in different form. So are you okay with that? What do you think about that? So, you know, we've seen Funko say, hey, we're going to come back out with some pops that were retired and we want to bring them back. Now, they said that they'll probably bring them back in different forms just to make people happy other than the box paint like on Star Wars does. This one's glow in the dark. The original one was not glow in the dark. How do you feel about that? Is that good enough to bring back, kind of like the Cheshire Cat, where the Cheshire Cat was retired, they brought him back halfway clear. Is that enough? Do you guys think that's enough? If you own those pops, do you feel that Funko is stepping on your toes as far as that goes because you got that back in the day, you're happy that you were in collecting, or you spent a lot of money on it from eBay or wherever that you buy your pops from? You know, does that hurt you? You know, does that make you feel like you don't want to collect anymore because you spent all that money and now it's not necessarily collectible? Because I know that's been a talking point in the community for a little while now. And this is the first time that we've seen Funko come out with a retired pop in a different form and glow in the dark.
I personally think that if they're going to bring back retired pops, I'd rather them change it to a different form or something, because if they bring back the exact same style, exact same box, then why did you retire it in the first place? So if you're bringing it back
molds.
If you're bringing it back in a little bit of a different form, I think that's okay, because I don't think it's going to affect the value of the original piece too much.
Yeah.
Because the people who want that original piece, they still are going to want it in its original form.
Yeah, it's all about keeping it collectible. That's the big thing, you know. So, you know, everybody wants to own one of some sort, but you still want to keep it collectible just because that's what keeps a community going of collectors. And, you know, the more community that you have, the more pops that come out. So trust me when I tell you, we were here 3 years ago, there weren't a whole lot of people in the community. They didn't make 10, 20, I don't even know how many licenses they make a year now come out. It's crazy.
It's crazy compared to what
Back
it was.
then you'd get like maybe 4, maybe 5, and you'd be happy with it. But now that you have all these collectors out in the community, it's great because you're getting just line after line after line after line. It's awesome for any collector. So that's one thing that is important when you collect things like this.
Right.
You want the value to stay because then the people will stay, the community will stay, and that's what's the most important thing. Not necessarily the flippers and things like that. They're there, you can't get rid of them. It is what it is.
They're
you just
there
gotta
in
deal
every
with them.
community.
Yeah, you gotta deal with them. It is what it is. But as far as this goes, it does not look anything like the original one.
No.
The color, the green is like way different.
I think that has a lot to do with the way that they molded it, because they put the glow-in-the-dark in the actual mold instead of painting it, which I think is pretty amazing since they're changing it up that way, and it makes it look entirely different than the first one in the original.
So yeah, guys, what do you think if they bring back DC, some of the old ones that are retired? If you own one, what would you feel comfortable with? If you don't own one, are you okay with having one that's maybe a different color or a different mold?
See, I think that Funko had so much backlash from what happened with pop culture and the DC pops that came out with Two-Face and Riddler and Penguin and all of that. I don't think they're going to repeat that. I think that if they're going to re-release retired pops, it's going to be completely different in some fashion. It's going to have something different from it than the original, because if they bring back the original ones and re-release those from retirement, they're going to get a lot of hate for that.
That's the stuff that can really hurt a community.
Yes.
You know, we all want to own it, and don't get me wrong, I was able to get Two-Face and Two-Face and Riddler, we had Penguin when they were still around. I was able to get those when they were retired from pop culture. Don't get me wrong, I felt so lucky to be able to do that. But at the same time, you know, it did hurt a lot of people that went out and bought these things for a lot of money.
I think it hurt the community a little bit.
Alright guys, so we will see you next video.
Thanks guys!
Hope you guys are doing well.
Bye!
Bye.